Okay, so hello everyone. We are going to start today's session. Just a recap of what we did last time. Last time we started with Ved, which is from paper 2, right? We saw the meaning of Ved, the four Vedas. Vedas as they are apaurushya, meaning they are of divine origin, right? There's no particular author, right? So the various hymns, how they are divided into four parts, the Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyak, and the Upanishads. And we have seen each of them, right? Um, even the Brahmanas. And I guess we stopped at the Upanishads, right? What is Upanishad? If we do a recap here, Upanishad means to sit at the feet of the Guru to acquire knowledge, and we need to have determination, right? Learn. What is the content of the Upanishad, right? All the Upanishads, rather, we have 108 Upanishads. Donc the content say, of course, spirituality, about Brahman, Brahman meaning God, about Atma, Moksha, rebirth, etc. Right? These stuff, they are here. The Upanishads also explain about the significance of several syllables, such as especially the word Om, right, which is believed to be the formless aspect of the Supreme, right? So Om is important. Recitation of Om as well is equally important for a seeker, right? And we also have seen that everyone, irrespective of whichever stage we are in our life, whether we are in the brahmacharya stage, that is the student life, marital life, or we go to the forest, or we renounce life, Upanishads are equally important for everyone, right? Whatever the age, whatever the, so here we are, the four stages of life we saw last time: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanprastha, and sannyas, right? So irrespective of the stages of life we are, Upanishads are equally important for one and all, right? With that, we will go with we will see the meaning of astic and nastic, right? Usually what we understand by astic and nastic, is that astic being theist and nastic the one who is atheist, right? Usually when you describe atheist, a person who is atheist, li endimun, where we 1 minute, please. Yeah, this is what we are going to do. The shruti, smriti, the astic and nastic, and how relevant the teachings of Upanishads or of Vedas are today. Okay, we are left with this part of the syllabus here. So back to to this. Okay. So we will see the shruti and the smriti first, then we go to the astic and nastic, right? So meaning of and the concept of shruti. Last time we have said that shruti means which has been heard or was heard, right? That is the scriptures which we have got, that is the Ved. These have been heard by the sages through meditation, of course, by the sages from the Supreme Being, from God, right? So that's why they are classified as shruti. Though Ved is shruti then. Even the Upanishads, they are shruti. All the four Vedas, they are shruti. They are called shruti, they are classified as shruti. So they are considered shruti because they are believed to have been originally heard from Brahma, the creator, by the Vedic seers, and these have been transmitted to their successors and pioneered pioneered a tradition that continued for several generations. Like in the Gurukul, the God gave the message of the Vedas to the sages. The sages, they propagated that message, those messages to the disciples, to other disciples in the Gurukul. And they have compiled the teachings as well. That's why today we have the great book, the books, right, of the Upanishads or the Vedas. And the Vedas, they were transmitted only orally by teachers to a student, by a teacher to a student. That was done orally only. There were no paperwork, nothing, right? It was only orally. The child, the disciple, he listened, right? It's just the process as like that. The disciple, he's going to listen carefully to what the guru is going to say. He is going to understand it. He will assimilate it, right? And then he will revise it. How revise? Means there will be a repetition going on in his mind always. So there is no book, there is no copybook, like nothing written at all, right? Everything was done orally. That's why it is again known as Shruti. So origin, it was Shruti, and even when it was being transmitted, it's still Shruti, right? So Shruti means that which is heard from God or from a guru, whatever we learn from God. Ban sages, they learn from God. And what we learn from the guru in the Gurukul is Shruti. Okay. Nowadays, the setup, the situation is totally different. Even if we learn, let's say in a temple from a pandit, from a priest, from a guru nowadays, we do have books, we have writings, right? It's not always orally. Only the Vedas are considered Shruti. Only the Vedas. The Vedas will also include Upanishads, right? Don't forget that, because they are part of. And the rest are considered as smriti. That is the difference we need to know. You may get question on this, shruti and smriti. Smriti means what? In Hindi, smriti means memory. Okay, so memory, that is here, which we have proofs of, which have been written by others. There has been an author of a particular book. For example, we have the Purans. We have 18 Purans. We have Mahabharata, Ramayana. We have the Bhagavad Gita, right? So these, let's say Ramayana was written by Valmiki, right? Ramayana was written by Valmiki. Ramcharitmanas written by Tulsidas. Though these Ramayana or the Ramcharitmanas, they are considered to be Hindu scriptures. Yes, they are considered. Even the Mahabharata, it is considered to be Hindu scripture. It was written by Ved Vyas. Mahabharata, we see in our Bhagavad Gita in it, right? So they were written by a person, they have an author, yet they are classified as Hindu scriptures, right? And since they were written we have written proof of it. They are called smriti, right? So that is the difference between shruti and smriti. Shruti, c'est seulement the Vedas and the Upanishads, and smriti, c'est all other, which comes like the 18 Purans. Purans, we have 18 Purans, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, and all. We have other Ramayana in other languages as well, which act as the Hindu scripture as well. Okay. Maintenant, since the knowledge of the Vedas is considered divine in origin, they are used as verbal testimony, right? They are from divine, as we said. They are used as verbal testimony to establish truth that cannot be easily ascertained with the help of the senses, the mind, and all. For example, we do not know the nature of Brahman, who is beyond the mind, the senses, invisible, beyond our grasp. How can we know him, who is indescribable? We don't know about him, the unknown. He may be known in transcendental states of self-absorption. I'll explain. It is by studying the Vedas, especially the Upanishads, we can strengthen our faith and belief. Over all of us, if ever we follow the Hinduism, for example, from where do we come to know that, oh, this is God? We have Atman. We need to follow the path of God. Okay. God is great. God is omnipotent. God is omniscient. God has such and such qualities. The Atma has such and such qualities. From where do we know that? We haven't seen God. We haven't seen Brahman. God cannot be perceived through the senses. So where do we get to know all these things? They are from the Vedas, especially from the Upanishads. Right? Upanishads, as we said last time, it is like the summary of the Vedas. If we don't read the Vedas, fine, at least the Upanishads should be read, because the summary and cream part, the essence of the Vedas. So the Vedas tells us that God is as such. We need to have faith, how to strengthen our faith, our belief, and all, right? So in a way, we are saying that Vedas are authoritative. We need to accept it. Normally, li comme ça, if here li comme ça, bien sûr, if I'm born in a Hindu family, I tend to follow the same tradition. If I'm born in a Christian or Muslim family, I'm following that tradition. Usually it is like that, right? Donc, Vedas, they are considered to be authoritative. But here there is a problem with this authoritativeness. You know, this authority is not correct, is not right or correct quand nous cause religion, quand nous cause dharma or righteousness, okay? Because we can't impose anything on anyone. Krishna has stated in the Bhagavad Gita that we are free to act. Okay, in the Bhagavad Gita, he said that we are free to act. We want to follow this path, we follow, right? Whichever path you want to follow, you follow. You will have the consequences later on. If you want to do bad actions, you do it, you are free. Okay, we are all free to do that, but we will have to bear consequences. Okay. In terms of religion, also it is the same thing. In terms of righteousness, also it is the same thing. Vedas are considered to be authoritative, means if I say I'm a Hindu, I have to act as per the Vedas. Okay, but it's not really practical. Mais il y a une affaire aussi that we are forgetting that comment on dit, we can't impose anything on anyone. Actually, the Vedas let us decide our path, our way. Let us choose our way. Okay. Brahmins, it happened in India, the situation got so deteriorated. It happened that Brahmins were imposing religion on people, right? If you want to be good, to succeed in life, you need to do such kind of prayer, of puja and so, right? They were imposing, right? That's definitely not correct. That is, you can choose your path. If you want to take the path of devotion, we take it. If we want to take the path of action, just helping people, we take it. We are free actually. Vedas actually, si nous bien guetter, bien liberal. We let us choose our way. But it happened to be that puisque we don't know, we have not seen, we have not felt, maybe we can't touch through our senses. I'm saying we can't perceive God, we can't perceive Brahman. Donc le fait que Vedas Indian ou Brahman exist, so we believe Brahman exists. That's why we say Vedas, they are somehow authoritative. But we need to validate things. I validate it. How do I validate it? If Vedas tell me that I need to speak the truth, one simple example, as per the Veda, I need to speak the truth. I need not believe in that without practicing it. Premièrement, I need to practice it, validate it. If I see it is correct to be practiced, then I practice it. Actually, that is the Veda qui lui donne the, comment dire, liberté, choose your own path. Okay, we will see that with Astic and Nastic also. Now, although most Hindus are clear on the difference between the two types of the text, that is Shruti and Smriti, there is no universal agreement on which texts have which status. Okay, qui fait, there's a problem here with Mahabharata. Okay, Mahabharata, we know, is the great epic having the great war, etc. In it, there is the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata. Now, we all know that the Bhagavad Gita was a conversation between Arjun and Krishna, right? So the Bhagavad Gita say the words, actually, Bhagavad Gita means the song of God. Right, Bhagavad Gita. Gita means the song, donc the song of God. Donc Bhagavad Gita is they are the words of God, the teachings of God directly, because we believe Krishna is God. Okay, it is only because we believe Krishna is God, right? So they are words of God. Maintenant pareil, the Vedas, they are words of God. They are teachings of God, right? So the thing is, some scholars, they come to believe that Bhagavad Gita, they are Shruti. Sorry, it is Shruti. The Bhagavad Gita is Shruti, puisque it comes directly from Krishna, from God. Par contre, others, they believe that Bhagavad Gita cannot be classified as Shruti, but it should be classified as Smriti, parce que many people don't believe in Krishna being the incarnation of God. For example, usually most true Arya Samajists, Okay, why I'm saying true Arya Samajis means those who follow the Arya Samaj as it is, the principles of Arya Samaj, those who follow that as they are, right, as the principles are. Even Swami Dayanand was that the founder of the Arya Samaj. So let's say Swami Dayanand, he respected Krishna, he respected Ram for the work they have done, but he never considered Krishna or Ram or whichever incarnation as God. In fact, he considered Krishna only as a messenger, right? So then the Bhagavad Gita will not be classified for these people. Bhagavad Gita will not be classified as shruti, vipu smriti, right? So why I'm telling you all these things, you may get a question for the exams like that, right? Where you will have to discuss whether it can be classified as shruti or not, or like that, okay? Or you may get the question directly, the difference between shruti and smriti, right? So elaborating on smriti, the other books, Kinvena, which are called smriti. So as I told you, smriti means memory, so it will mean remembrance. It comes from the word smara meaning remembrance or calling to mind or simply memory. Now the shruti corpus includes these, Tusara, they come in shruti. We have the 6 Vedanga, that is the grammar, about the meter, about phonetics, okay, astronomy, all the rituals to some Vedanga. We have the Itihas Vidya, history, for example, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and we have also the text of the 4 proper goals of human life. For example, we have the text Manu Smriti, last time I was telling you about it. We have Vishnu Smriti, Artha Shastra of Chanakya, and Kama Sutra also. We have the Purans, we have the Kavya. Kavya is the poetical literature. Maintenant, Kavya, c'est pas, poets de nos jours, for example, which they are writing. Just to elaborate on that kavya, the Bhakti movement started in the south of India, probably around the 2nd century, right? Those people who started the Bhakti movement, they were all poets, saints, poets, and they were known as the Alvars, right? They are known as the Alvar. We have few Alvars, 10 or 12 Alvars. The Bhakti movement started with them, okay? And they were poets, and their poetry, they have been compiled and they are used as scriptures. People read them at home, or in temples as well. The verses are being read or chanted. Okay, c'est ça the poetical literature or kavya. Now we have extensive bhashya, for example, commentaries on shruti or smriti. Many scholars like Adi Shankaracharya, for example, he has done many commentaries, and those are being used as a kind of holy book, as a scripture to help people to walk on the right path, right? So these are considered as smriti as well. You have the sutras, the shastra. You have the numerous nibandh, which covers politics, medicine, etc. All those, they are all smritis, right? Donc, smritis, they are considered to be less authoritative compared to Vedas, which is smriti. Okay, less authoritative, parce que quelque part, il y a an author, donc the author is can be a person who is not perfect, or maybe nearly too perfect, or he is not perfect. So that's why the less authoritative compared to the Vedas, which is Shruti, because it comes directly from God and God is perfect. That can be a reason, right? So this is Shruti and Smriti. I continue. If we have any question, don't hesitate. Now, the concept of astic in Hinduism. Astic, it comes from, as I was telling you earlier, astic means a believer, right? And Nastic means a non-believer. Now, the word astic, it comes from the root word asti. Okay. And asti means being or existent or present or is there, right? This is the Sanskrit word. And nasti, asti and nasti. Nasti is the opposite of asti, meaning not there, non-existent, or non-being or not present, right? So if we are going to describe the word astic, there's a theism in English, right? So when we say theism, theism will mean a believer in God, a believer in the scriptures, right? Believer of the soul, believer of the concept of karma, a believer of the concept of rebirth or reincarnation, or what you call the transmigration of the soul, right? So a person who is theistic, who is astic, believes in all these. And the one who is Gnostic, the atheist one, il pas croit dans tout ça là. In God, in the Atma, in karma, karma mean action, in the concept of rebirth, in heaven and all. They don't believe in that, the Gnostic, right? Now, in this Gnostic one, in the Gnostic part, the non-believers, we have Buddhism, we have Jainism. They are also known as the Shraman. They form part of the Shraman tradition. Those who do main will do that later on, the Shraman tradition. So the Gnostic, say those who are the Buddhist, the Jains, for example. Now also the Charvakya. I'll come to the Charvakya later on parce qu'il y a une certaine différence quand même. Now, why the Buddhists, why the Jains, they are considered as Gnostic? Because the Buddhists, they do not believe in the soul. Yeah. Normalement, Buddhists, il y a deux types de Buddhists, right? One who believes that Buddha is God, and the one who believes that Buddha is not God. He's just a common man who has mastered knowledge, life, and he has become a great teacher, a great master, right? Now, original Buddhism considered Buddha only as a master, not as God, right? So Buddhism believes in anatta, that is the no soul theory, okay? Buddhism does not believe in God, what you call God, like physically, yeah. But yes, they believe, the Buddhists believe there is a supreme, yes, but we are not calling God. Again, those who will do main, we will go in details in that later. Where Buddha, whenever he was being asked the question, about the soul, what happened to the soul, how the soul is, what are the qualities, characteristics, who is God, what are the characteristics of God. Buddha always kept silence on these issues, not issues, but on these topics rather, because according to him, it is not kind of worthy, right, to know all this stuff. Parce que Buddhism is an ethical religion. We believe in ethical discipline rather than going in theory. Okay, that was the whole thing about Buddha, right? But without going in those details, I was saying that Buddhism will form part in the Gnostic one. However, Buddhism, n'est pas believe dans God, n'est pas believe in eternal soul. Mais, however, Buddhism believes in the existence of karma, in transmigration of the soul, in heaven, in hell, in the celestial beings, or gods, that is man demigods to some, right? Jainism does not believe in the existence of an eternal God, or bien creator God, but believes in souls, in gods, in jinns, Vidyaman prophets, right? Jinn is not like the jinns qui fait ban miracles, no, c'est ban prophets. We have the school of Samkhya. Okay, again, those who do main will do that. Samkhya does not believe in the existence of eternal God. N'est pas believe dans God, mais il believe dans souls. Okay, they believe in karma, like if you do good, you will earn good, etc. Right? So the point here is what? Buddhism is a religion. Hinduism is a religion. They do not, Hinduism, sorry, Buddhism and Jainism, they are religions. They do not believe in God, in the soul, yet they believe in karma, in other stuff like doing good actions. So they believe in rebirth, right? The point here is in Hinduism, it is difficult to set the difference between astic and Gnostic, right? Because I may be, let's say one example, I don't believe in God. I don't go to temples. I don't pray, but I help people, right? I help people. Let's say someone is needy. I give the person food. He doesn't have food, right? Because in the scripture, it has been said that Manav Seva is Madhav Seva. Manav Seva, c'est-à-dire service to man. Okay, I write it here. Service to man is service to God. I may be a non-believer. I don't believe in God. Don't go to temples and blah, blah. But I do good stuff. Like if someone is hungry, is needy, I'm giving the person food so that he can survive. That is in itself a great work or our duty as human being. Okay. Now, why am I saying that it is difficult to say, to set a difference between astic and Gnostic? Parce que Hinduism, normalement, les Bouddhisme, there are 3 yogs. 3 yogs veut dire quoi? Nous mettons un petit peu plus facile for the time being. 3 yogs are the 3 paths leading to moksha, that is leading to liberation, right? The first path being the Gyan Yoga, that is the path of knowledge. One path how I can get liberation, say by walking on the path of knowledge. I learn scriptures, bien sûr, I acquire knowledge, no. One is bhakti yoga. That is the path of devotion, right? I do tous les jours me faire mala jap, I take the name of God, I chant the mantras, the stories of God. That is devotion. Next is karma yoga. Karma yoga means the path of action, right? So the example which I just gave you, I don't believe in God, etc. Right? I may be not doing devotion, but I'm following the path of karma. So that being a non-believer does not make me Nastic. I hope you're understanding the point here. So in Hinduism, difficult to set the difference between astic and nastic, because even the nastic can do good action, and our good action can lead us to heaven or to moksha, to liberation. Lipavidyama, I need to go to temple to pray, to do rituals and ceremonies, so that this will lead me to moksha, to God, or to liberation. That won't lead me. Panisama won't lead me, but there is also another way. The karma yoga is there also to reach the supreme, right? Can you please rejoin? It's going to disconnect.